Centaur, your kind of company.
Tonight on CTV3 News, potato production to see major increase this year. What is leading to the skyrocket prices of vegetables? We'll tell you. Large shipment of contraband products intercepted in Orange Walk, and we'll tell you how you can assist tomorrow in a much-needed cleanup campaign. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Friday, September 29th, 2023.
That'll be $50. Thank you. Wait, hey, this 50 is a fake.
How do you know it's a fake?
What are you talking about, sir? How can I identify a genuine note from a fake note?
Well, a genuine 50 has a watermark with the jaguar and the written words of the 50, also a thread.
Know your money and know a fake one when you see it. Do not rely on any one security feature. Look for the clarity and quality of printing. The printed lines and colors should be sharp and clear. Feel the quality of the paper and the raised print. Hold the note up to the light to see the windowed security thread. It should form one complete line when held up to the light. The watermark and denominational electrotype. The Jaguar is the watermark in the $100 and $50 notes. The Sleeping Giant is the watermark in the $20, $10, $5, and $2 notes. The see-through feature. The parts of the design printed on the back should fit exactly within the unprinted areas of the front to form the complete design. Check the $100 note for the toucan hologram with the periwinkle flower overprint. Tilt it to see the small images of the toucan and the numeral 100. Check the $50 note for the green foil angelfish. Check even closer. Use an ultraviolet light to see the fluorescent features. Use a magnifier to see the microlettering. Tiny letters that read Central Bank of Belize and the value of the note. Stop the circulation of counterfeit Belize currency notes. Pass all counterfeits to the police at once. It is a criminal offense to hold or use a counterfeit. Be safe. Be sure. Know your money.
Movies are dreams. That you never forget.
The lights change how everything looks. It's hard to find our house.
Ours is the dark house with no lights.
In this family, it's the scientists versus the artists.
What kind of movie are we gonna make?
You stop making movies, it'll break your mother's heart. I don't know what to do anymore.
You do what your heart says you have to. What was your favorite part?
Good evening. With your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7, I am Joanna Rodriguez. At the Yeo Creek Agriculture Station this morning, Ministry of Agriculture personnel, including Minister Jose Mai, met with potato producers from San Carlos, Indian Church, and Indian Creek. The main topic of discussion in today's meeting was the potato production, which experts are saying will see a major increase in the coming year. Statistics received by the Ministry of Agriculture is that farmers are looking at an importation of 450,000 pounds of potato seeds to be planted in the coming weeks. This is a major increase from last year when a total of 335,000 pounds of seeds were imported into the country. The additional seeds being imported this year would then translate to over 140 acres of additional potatoes which are expected to be produced. If there is no change in the current estimated production, the ministry says there will be too much potato for the local market, spelling very bad news for local producers.
The planting for potato will be occurring soon. And the reason we're having the meeting is because after reviewing our data, we realized that potato production should be increasing based on the seed importation that is being requested. And most of us know the challenges that happen whenever there's what we call extensive production out in the field. The situation of selling and the ministry having to get involved to ensure that farmers can sell their actual production, because the ministry is very proactive and try to ensure that farmers can sell their produce as best as possible whenever the production is out there. So that's what the meeting is about, to ensure that we can try, because the thing is that we noticed that there is over 100,000 pounds of potato seed being requested more than last year. Last year the production was good and the farmers were able to sell. So the thing is, they noticed that they were able to sell last year, so they want to import more. And that, in our mind, we think will cause a problem. Yes, we know that we have some storage out there, but the storage can only hold so much. And whenever that is exhausted, then we will realize that price will be going way down. And they won't be able, some of them will try to hold their product. The challenge with that is if you don't have very good storage, and after a while the potato will start to deteriorate. And it will be unfair for the consumers to be consuming low quality potato as well.
This significant increase, according to Minister of Agriculture Honorable Jose Mai, is very concerning, especially taking the current economic climate of our country into consideration.
It has been brought to my attention that there is a huge amount of potato seeds being imported. Now, I'm concerned because there is no way that the consumers will be able to absorb all the potato in time to consume all and to ensure that farmers don't lose. So what happens? Farmers can say, well, we need more storage, cold storage. But after 4 months, the potato being stored in cold storage, the quality goes down. And I've said this once, and I'll say it again, more than one time. The farmer deserves the best, but the consumer also deserves the best. So the farmers will tend to say, well, close the borders to importation so we can sell our potatoes. But it's unfair to force the consumer to eat a potato that has been stored for 5 months when the quality is not good. And secondly, is that there's also a cost for storage. Now the other suggestion is, okay, well, close down the importation or control the importation of French fries. So you close down or manage the French fries imported, then you'll have to force the restaurants and the housewives to do their own French fries. But that again would raise the price of our French fries. So if you go buy a fried chicken for $7, it's now $9 because the Chinese stores who are the large consumers of French fries then have to make their own French fries. And so the fried chicken now is not $7, it's $9. And then that would put the Ministry of Agriculture again in a hard seat. So the Ministry of Agriculture is faced on two sides with this dilemma. One, satisfying the farmer, and two, satisfying the consumer with the price and the quality of product.
Before jumping into a bumper harvest, Minister Mai says he's advised for farmers to analyze the situation carefully and act accordingly.
My advice to the farmers, because we cannot force them not to produce, or like in other countries, they pay you not to produce. It's called a subsidy, right? The Americans pay you not to raise pigs, right? They pay you not to produce milk. We can't do that in Belize. We can't pay the farmer not to produce potatoes. This is Belize and this is 2023. This matter of potato, let us be smart. If we do the wrong thing, if we don't plan well, all of us will lose. The farmers will lose. And if the farmers lose, the consumers will lose. And if the consumers lose, the government will lose. So all of us are in this together. We have to find some common ground and say, listen guys, be smart. Let us try to reduce the importation so that everybody can sell their product at a reasonable price. Because if we underproduce also, then the price goes up to the consumer. We don't do that. We can't do that. The consumers are taking a beating out there. And if the consumers don't buy, the farmers lose money. So it's not an easy task we have.
A similar meeting is expected to take place in the coming days with potato farmers from the Cayo district. As the Ministry of Agriculture contends with the real possibility of having of locally produced potatoes in the local market in the next 5 months, Minister Jose Mai says the ministry is also analyzing reports of local products like tomato and cilantro being sold at record highs. These price increases, according to Minister Mai, however, can be attributed to several factors.
We are faced with a situation. I received a text from someone yesterday saying, oh, the price of cilantro is $18 a pound, and tomatoes is, I think, $4 a pound. Well, this is the time of the year when it's difficult to produce. It rains a lot, tomatoes, the plants out in the field get sick. The little tomatoes we have in the greenhouse, the temperatures are so high, it affects the flowering, we have less fruits. And so we have a real struggle when it comes to agriculture. And people may say, well, that's why, we don't have no tomatoes. That's why tomatoes are expensive at this time, because there's very few tomatoes. And the imported tomatoes, the tomato right now, Mexican side, in Botes, I am told by my farmers right now, that is at $2.75 a pound of tomato. My biggest thing to people is that you want your food cheap, then produce your own food, right? Plant your own backyard garden, right? Because complaining will not solve this thing. It's a global situation. Climate change is real. The cost of fertilizer went up. They're going down now. The cost of ocean freight went up. Everything went up. They're starting to go down slowly, but they still haven't gone down to the levels where they were before. And so we're being faced. Mexico's peso is doing well. It's strong. The costs go up for their product. We have to import it. And so, they see BMDC is selling expensive. The contraband is expensive right now. Right? That's why they're importing a lot, because they sell at a good price here and Belize a high price, because so we're in a very difficult situation.
With an increase in the price of local products, Minister Mai says authorities will then face the increasing challenge of contraband. Just yesterday, authorities were able to intercept a large shipment of contraband products in the Orange Walk district.
Last night, 4 vehicles were caught with contraband. Tomatoes, carrots, onions. And the price is high. The price is not cheap, because the peso right now is at 7 pesos to 1 Belize dollar. So the peso is strong, and the stronger the peso gets, the more expensive things are for us. So at this time of the year, we're importing, I think I'm not sure if we're putting cabbage because cabbage is scarce right now. But in 2 weeks' time now, we have our cabbage production coming. So we have to monitor these things daily. Our officers out there monitoring the farmers carefully. When will Valley of Peace harvest cabbages? In 2 weeks' time, we have to control the importation of cabbages. And then if you sleep up 1 week and the farmer can't sell them, then blame the Ministry of Agriculture and then blame BMDC. And so we are in a very, very difficult position in the Ministry of Agriculture. We are faced with contraband. We are faced with adverse weather, high temperatures. I mean, cilantro, I'm being told right now, the seed does not germinate because of the quality. I'm told the quality of seed is not the best right now, one. And two, even if it germinates, it does not grow because of the high temperature. We have temperatures of 100 degrees, high relative humidity. So we're being affected by all these things. Now, the farmers face difficult challenges. And when farmers face difficult challenges, they come to the government, and the government tries to solve all these problems. And it's not an easy thing to do. To solve the farmer's problem, solve the climate problem, solve the consumer problem, lower the price of the farmer. We are really in very difficult times. And so
The bust, according to reports, was carried out through a joint collaboration between the MIT and Customs based on surveillance by Customs officials. The operation was carried out at the home of a known smuggler here in the Orange Walk district. While the specific details of the bust is not known, we are told that it included a large assortment of products including tomatoes, carrots, and other Mexican produce. Mario Bucaro, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Guatemala, has called out radical social independentist Belizean groups for attempting to provoke instability in the Sarstún River zone, undermining the efforts of both countries to promote peace while the territorial dispute is being resolved at the International Court of Justice, ICJ. Bucaro was responding to Belize's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Eamon Courtney, who spoke last week at the United Nations General Assembly and called once again for a Sarstún protocol to address management of the southern boundary, which Guatemala claims in its entirety along with Sarstún Island. Bucaro said Guatemala maintains a pacifist stance based on good faith and commended the program sponsoring education and culture underpinned by the Organization of American States, as well as the work of both countries to stop international drug trafficking. But even when Guatemalans have died at the hands of Belizean armed forces, Bucaro claimed there has been no issue. Conversely, these groups have regularly claimed that Guatemala has been violating the human rights of Belizeans. Bucaro recommitted to the Guatemalan government working with Belize in the adjacency zone and to the ICJ process, and mentioned the uptick of Guatemalan investment in Belize, which he said showed that together we can obtain a prosperous and a peaceful future for future generations. A Belizean reply was issued by Permanent Representative to the United Nations, Carlos Fuller, who referred to the claims of Guatemala deaths at Belizean hands as completely baseless and false, and reminded that Guatemalans are guilty of constantly encroaching on Belizean territory and committing illegal acts of poaching, deforestation, cultivating illegal drugs, and looting Maya artifacts. Fuller also asserted on behalf of the government that the 1859 Boundary Convention settled the boundaries between the countries, and in specific reference to the Sarstún per Article 6 that the mid-channel of the Sarstún River marks the boundary between the two countries. The channels of the Sarstún River should be equally free for navigation for citizens of both countries. Therefore, Belizeans are fully entitled to use the Sarstún River without harassment or intimidation. He repeated the call for the Sarstún Protocol and talks between the countries to achieve this. And while Bucaro is calling our activist groups radical, it is no secret that Guatemalans illegally encroach in Belize down south. It is also not a secret that the Guatemala Armed Forces also disrespectfully intrude on Belize's side of the Sarstún River. Time and time again, the Belize territorial volunteers have had face-offs with the GAF. Most recently, the GAF illegally removed a number of flags erected on Belizean soil at the Sarstoon. Today, Will Mejia, an activist by heart, was down at the Sarstoon again, which is his right. But even though he remains on his side of the border, not surprisingly, there was a showdown by the GAF again. He told us what happened.
Few hours ago, this morning we were on a routine, monitoring of our natural resources as the BTV usually do, down in the Sarsoon area, and we had spoken to some Guatemalans who were sitting inside Belize's water. And I don't know if the GAF, the Guatemalan Armed Forces, was upset about that or what. But when we proceeded onto the Sarstoon River and around the island, they came at us and was like really violently telling us that we were inside Guatemala and we need to get out of Guatemala. And I was like, no, we are. I know where we are. I know where the borderline is at. We are inside Belize's territory. And he was like, he got even more angry when I told him that, and he said that no, that this is that's Guatemalan territory, and I insisted that we were in Belizean territory. So we proceeded towards where the BDF base is at, and they came right across straight into Belizean waters within a few hundred feet of the BDF base, clearly inside Belize's waters.
Mejia also spoke about the incident where the foreign minister of Guatemala used his minutes at the UN to relay unfounded claims about the use of the Sarstoon.
I would like to respond to him and say for him to visit the 1859 treaty, which clearly states exactly where the borderline is at. The borderline is at the midpoint of the deepest section of the Sarstoon River, which puts it on the south side of the island, which makes the entire island Belizean territory. He needs to revisit that treaty, and they need to abide by the treaty. The treaty was written, it was signed by both Britain and Spain at that time, and was adhered to for a long time by Belize and Guatemala until now. They are claiming that the treaty is not valid. A treaty is a treaty, and they need to abide by the treaty. He needs to read that treaty, understand it, and let his government and his military know that they need to abide by the treaty. We will continue to have run-ins if our government doesn't put up a stop to it, because we cannot sit idle back and watch them destroy our natural resources. Today, there were gillnets in Belizean waters. Belizeans can't set gillnet. It's illegal, and Belizeans abide by the law. So why should we abide by the law and the Guatemalans not? So we will continue to oppose these atrocities against the environment, and we need to do something about that. Our government and all those people who are campaigning for the yes to ICJ, and they know who they are. They are the Schumans and the Dean Barrows and the Side Musas. They need to get on board and begin to work with this Belize government to say, hey, Guatemala must respect the treaty, because they were the same ones that was going around this country saying once it's in the hands of the ICJ, that there would be none of this infractions, none of this harassment by the Guatemalan armed forces. And that did not stop, even though it's in the ICJ. And for the Belizeans who are being critical and saying that we should not be in that area, I want to, say that I feel sorry for their ignorance, because they need to know that this is our land, this is our sea, and we need to protect it. We can't just lay back and let them rape us just because they are bigger than us. No, we can't do that. So the Belizeans who are saying we should not be going into that area, I pity them. For a while, it had backed down. They didn't do much, but these days they are doing more. I don't know what has triggered that. But again, I point back to the former Prime Ministers, Dean Barrow and Said Musa and Assad Schuman, foreign ministers, and Elrington, who all said, the PUDP, they all said that once it's in the matter of the courts, that the harassment from Guatemala would stop. Well, it did not stop, and the Guatemalans are still entering the Chiqui Bowl. They're still entering the Columbia Forest Reserve, and we need to do something about that. Belizeans get harassed whenever they go and settle on any government lands. So why are they not pushing out the Guatemalans? Are the Guatemalans better than Belizeans? I don't think so. Do they have more rights than Belizeans? I don't think so. We need to demand respect from Guatemala.
Notably, both countries, Guatemala and Belize, agreed to develop our Sarstoon Protocol. Today, that is yet to be established. Local small and medium backyard poultry producers were at the Oak Creek station here in the Orange Walk district today, where they received the capacitation on avian influenza and the importance of keeping Belize free of it. Today's training was done through a collaboration between the Ministry of Agriculture, the Belize Poultry Association, BAHA, OIRSA, the International Regional Organization for Plant and Animal Health, and the Belize Forestry Department. Today's training, according to Bellarmino Esquivel from the Ministry of Agriculture, comes at a very opportune time as avian influenza has been detected in a few countries in Central America.
We are conducting a training in sensitizing the farmers in terms of the possible negative impact that the avian influenza disease can have on the poultry sector. And obviously, considering that it is an avian influenza, it's a zoonotic disease, meaning that it can be transmitted from animals to human. Hence the reason why the Ministry of Agriculture, in close collaboration with the Belize Agricultural Health Authority, the poultry farmers, and other government agencies and international agencies like FAO and ICA and OIRSA, are supporting collaboratively to ensure that we sensitize the farmer in this regard in terms of what is the disease, how you can identify the disease, and who you can report the disease. I think the poultry sector overall, like I'm telling you, is very important, and we have the poultry sector, the private sector, very much engaged in this whole initiative, in this entire initiative. So we have them supporting. By the way, there's a poultry health committee that meets regularly to ensure that we are vigilant and of these diseases that can impact negatively the poultry sector. So they have been supporting the sensitization program, and the ministry also has touched base with the Food and Agriculture Organization. They have approved a project to sensitize farmers nationwide. And we have the support of OIRSA, we have the support of the farmers actually coming on board. No? We have the commercial farmers. Like I'm telling you, the overall output of the poultry industry is $140 million, and it represents a great chunk of contributing to the socioeconomic development of our poultry industry and the economy of Belize.
Now, while the disease has not been detected in Belize, Esquivel says it is important to raise awareness among stakeholders to ensure that Belize remains prepared in the event of a breach.
We consider it very, very critical, primarily because the disease is right around the neighborhood. We have it in Mexico, we have it in Guatemala, we have it in Honduras. We don't want this disease to get into Belize. We want to avoid, we want to prepare and to mitigate so that the disease cannot enter Belize. But if there is a case that it enters Belize, we know exactly how we are going to address it. So we're trying to prevent from coming in, but if it comes in, we know exactly what we are going to do. Why this is important? Primarily because the poultry industry in Belize, the backyard poultry industry, is a means of livelihood for our rural farmers, for our rural populace in Belize. So we know for a fact that Belize consumes 110 to 115 pounds of poultry meat per capita every year. So that's about the most affordable protein source that we have. And then every Belizean consumes on average 170 eggs annually per capita. So that just tells you how important the industry or the subsector poultry industry is in regards to food security. It is a means of income generation for families in the rural areas. And you know, much of our people depend now on local production chicken, backyard production chicken. So this is something that we want to sensitize the farmers. We want them to become aware. And hence the reason why we've been able to collaborate, and we have taken a push to ensure that we ensure that they know what the disease is all about, how they can eventually identify, and how we can prevent it from coming in, and if so, who we have to report it.
As the body responsible for agriculture health, BAHA has been engaged in similar public awareness campaigns and public sensitization across the country in an effort to keep Belize free from avian influenza both in domestic and wild birds.
Part of our responsibility as the Agricultural Health Authority is to ensure prevention, right? Part of that prevention is education. We organize this together with our partners from the Ministry of Agriculture, Forest Department, Public Health, and the Belize Poultry Association to be able to create awareness in farmers that, you know what, there is avian influenza out there in the world. We don't have in Belize. We have other diseases like Newcastle disease that we need to look out for, and that there are measures that can be taken to prevent these diseases. Our role is in prevention, and we would like to ensure that we maintain that prevention so that these diseases don't come into Belize, and then we have to take measures that might be uncomfortable for several, parties at
Talk to us about, the response from the farmers in terms of the information being provided and, just in terms of how much they know about this disease that is real in our region.
See, what we always say is that the farmers know their animals best. So what we are ensuring that we're doing is saying, okay, when you see changes in your animals, and these are some of the changes that you can see, then you need to notify us, and then we need to carry out our investigation. Their response has been very positive. We are doing this through all 6 districts, and this is only our 2nd district, but we have partners such as OIRSA and FAO who have assisted us in putting this together by funding these activities.
Today's training session saw the participation of over 40 producers from the Orange Walk district. Coming up next, a road march to celebrate Muffles High School 70 years of service. Stay tuned.
Tell me something. You can go anywhere. Another timeline. Another universe. So why do you want to stay and fight to save this one?
Because this is the world where my mom lives. I'm not gonna lose her again. Time has a pattern that it can't help reliving. Different people, different worlds, drawn to each other like magnets. It's my face. You stole my face.
If you were to go into the past, you have no idea what the consequences can be.
Bruce, I could fix things.
You could also destroy everything.
This can't be happening. I completely broke the universe.
Zod, we've been waiting for you.
I created a world with no metahumans. And now there's no one to defend us.
Want some help?
Oh. You are?
Yeah. I'm Batman.
If I can't undo what I did, if I can't get back, there might not be a future. What's the play? Batman, what do we do?
We try not to die.
It's not Clark.
My name is Kara.
I'm Barry. We're Barry. Barry, what are you doing? Our kids are gonna want to see this.
Hospital Asunción's Diagnostics is a radiology service that we provide. It entails the services of ultrasound, X-ray, mammogram, and then we incorporated the laboratory services also. So we are actually in the business of images and laboratory. Soon after graduation, and I came back to Belize, I spent about 15 years in the public service, and that was one of my dreams, to have my own clinic where I can provide and help people. And now NHI that is on board, I mean, that just facilitated everything and speeded up everything that I intended to do in my whole career, to be open and to be accessible to all walks of life people. All right. So I would say that yes, indeed, the NHI is going to serve its purpose, and it's going to be great for the people. They will have access to quality health service. The NHI to me was indeed a good venture, and that's the reason I decided, along with the whole staff here, to join, because it's going to benefit the Belizean society at large, and it will bring the medical services to the less privileged people, quality service. It has been proven worldwide that prevention is better than cure. So if we can detect conditions at an early stage and start to treat it, for example, patients with diabetes, hypertension, which is one of the main causes of death in Belize, then we can avoid these complications at an early stage, and then we are not going to burden the expenses on the Ministry of Health, all right, by having patients in the intensive care unit.
Sign up for Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
Millions of dollars is being invested by the Social Security Board to construct office space that will be rented out by the government of Belize. It has raised eyebrows because the monies are certainly going to be loaned out to the Public Administration Campus I Limited, a company that will be used to facilitate a public-private partnership that the Social Security and the government are planning to pursue. The end result should be 2 buildings next to the Eleanor Hall building on Totamal Street in Belize City. These will be leased for 30 years by GOB before being fully handed over to them. Minister Koi explains.
There are several reasons behind it. Clearly, there's a need for improved government services, and that was recognized in the early days of the administration. This is something that's not limited to Belize City, but across the country you have departments all over the place, and so it was felt that, you know what, we should look at how we can consolidate government services. We're talking about digitization and e-governance, but at the same time, the actual in-person government services, it would be better organized if it were to be placed in a campus. So the finance building, in the case of Belize City, the finance building was already constructed, and whatever the costs associated with that, that's something that was already incurred in the past. But the area certainly was looked at as an opportune area for development, and development by way of a government campus, a government administration campus. So that was the first thought in terms of conceiving of that idea of that campus. But remember that as the administration got in, there were the debt issues. You know, the past administration had increased the debt to 133% of GDP, unsustainable debt load. So we had to look at how we could be more creative in trying to access monies that wouldn't come out of government's coffers. And so that's where the idea of this PPP concept came about, where we would be able to access money from the private sector. So that's where the evolution came about. This is a company, a regular company, that has two shareholders, one that has the majority shareholding interest and one that has the minority. So the majority shareholder holds the majority of the seats on the board. So SSP holds the majority of the seats on the board. Social partners they're not shareholders, it's the SSB that is the shareholder. So it's up to the SSB to decide who they want to choose to put on the board. That's SSB's prerogative. So it's a misnomer to think that you have to put civil people or anything like that, because that's a prerogative of the SSB to decide who they will put on the board as the majority shareholder of that company. So that, I guess that explains the directorship.
A follow-up on that though, because some people are going to look at this and say, well, SSB money, that's still the people money, it's a statutory board.
Right, and I 100% agree with that. But it's the SSB that will decide. They're the shareholder. SSB is a person, an entity in its own right, and they will choose, just like they have chosen for the membership. They hold shares in BTL, they hold shares in BEL, and they have seats on those boards. And it's the SSB that chooses in its own right. That board of the SSB chooses in its own right who they will select to sit on those boards. So it's nothing different from that.
Koye says the plan is not only for Belize City, but there is where it starts.
This PPP would represent one of those safe investment opportunities. And we also contemplate that this is not necessarily a Belize City thing, or only a Belize City thing. We want to see Belmopan. You can look at the buildings in Belmopan, and they obviously need a lot of work. So looking overall at all these factors, then it made sense that we look at that PPP structure. So that really is what's behind the development of this PPP vehicle for financing the construction of a government administration campus in the city.
Founded in September of 1958, Muffles High School here in Orange Walk is celebrating 70 years of service to the community this year. In commemoration of the momentous milestone, the high school has been hosting a number of events highlighting the work of the institutions throughout the years. Since the beginning of the month, students have been part of a symposium where generations of alumni were recognized, as well as a scholarship run. As the month slowly winds down, students and community members participated today in a road march around the center of town. The parade, according to Professor of Muffles High School, Felix Mai, was done as a way of giving back to the community, which has been a huge part of the institution's success through the decades.
We're celebrating our 70th anniversary, and this is one of the culminating activities that we planned. We wanted to come out to the streets of Orange Rock and say thank you to our sponsors, thank you to our parents, thank you to the entire Orange Rock community for assisting us for the past 70 years, and to show them that, you know, we are extremely proud to be a part of Orange Rock, and most importantly to be a part of the educational molding of our Orange Rockenians, our young Orange Rockenians. Without the community, we won't be where we are. I think that every educational institution in the country needs its community, and Muffles is absolutely no exception. For the past 70 years, we have relied on the community a lot. We've relied on the support of the community in order for us to be able to grow. And in that light, we have prepared these activities. For example, we prepared our annual symposium this month where we invited a member or a graduate of each year going all the way back to 1961 to 2023. And, in that way, we honored, we gave back. Today we had the parade. Tomorrow we're having our gala night. We're inviting all our alumni and friends and supporters. It starts at 8 o'clock right here at our auditorium.
Also forming part of today's anniversary parade were students from St. Catherine's Academy from Belize City and Escuela Secundaria Técnica Mexico from the Corozal district.
Today, our sister school, our second Mercy School in Belize, there are only two, which is Muffles High School and St. Catherine's Academy. So they accompanied us today via their steel band. They were part of the parade. And we also had as invited guests Escuela Secundaria Mexico, who brought their marching band. And so they were part of our parade as well. So, we wanted to extend all of this. We are one happy family in education, and we wanted also them to be part of our 70th anniversary celebration.
As part of the celebration, the institution is also planning an anniversary gala on Saturday, September 30th. Past alumni as well as community members are invited to attend this event, which promises to be fun-filled.
I want to take the opportunity as well to say thank you to every single Ranger Kenya that has helped. And if we start naming it, it'll be too much. But thank you so much to the Ranger community for all the support that you've given to Muffles High School. We are tremendously in debt with our community. And we say thank you so much because without you, like I said, we would not be where we are. We need your support and we'll continue knocking at your doors. But we want to invite you to join us tomorrow. It's a big celebration. It's a huge celebration that we're having at our auditorium. The price is $15 to come in, get your ticket, check it in. Super Furia in between. We will have mechas with us as well with their mixed drinks. So that means we'll have alcoholic beverages on sale as well here. We'll have a small ceremony as well earlier just to commemorate the occasion. And then the celebration, full celebration. So we want to invite the entire Orange Rock community. Hyper Songs will be with us. If you notice, if you pass in front of the auditorium, we're already setting up huge screens to form a little tunnel, just to do a little memory back with the screens to show back all past pictures of Muffles and stuff. So it's going to be a really beautiful night tomorrow. So we want to invite everyone to come out, have fun, bring out the entire family, especially all alumni. Come on out and have a wonderful time.
Once more, the Muffles College High School 70th anniversary gala is scheduled to kick off on Saturday, September 30th at 8 p.m. at the Muffles Auditorium. Tomorrow, many hands are needed as the Rotary Club of Corozal joins other NGOs and associations in commemoration of International Coastal Cleanup Day. The idea is that young people become engaged in cleaning up their towns and at the same time learn what pollutants are discarded at an end make their way to the shoreline. Each area will be cleared by a different organization. Rotary Club of Corozal will cover Mothers Park to St. Paul's Anglican Primary School. The Corozal Lions Club will do the Mangrove Park. Plan Corozal is in charge of Miami Beach. The Scouts Association will cover Plaza Chactamal to Corozo Blues, while Rainbow Beach will be done by the Corozal Cadets.
It's an initiative from the Scouts Association of Belize. And here in Belize, we are hosting our 31st annual National Coastal and River Ways Cleanup. This is an initiative from the Seeded Change at Ocean Conservancy. And this is their 38th International Coastal Cleanup. And this is one of the world's largest volunteer efforts to remove and record the trash from lakes, seas, beaches. So yes, the Scouts Association of Belize had started this initiative 31 years ago. As a young person, it means a lot. It means that I am giving of myself and my part to my community. I live here in Corozal. I'm right in front of the beach. And to see people throwing trash, I mean, our beach is so beautiful. It is fun to see family coming along together at the beach. So to keep it clean is a priority for me as a Corozaleño.
The areas to be cleaned up are as follows. The Rotary Club of Corozal will cover Mothers. The Corozal Lions Club will do the Mangrove Park, while Rainbow Beach will be done by the Corozal Cadets. You can join the clean up by presenting yourself at any of the areas. Simultaneously, other groups and associations will be doing the same cleanup activity along the entire coastline of the entire country. The San Esteban Lions Club is gearing up to engage in a canoe race. The club has dubbed the event as Saving the New River Canoe Race. Everybody can be a part of this fun yet educational day that will take place on October 8, 2023. The best part of it all is that the logistics has been thought through so that at the end of the day, every member of the family can say it was an enjoyable event. We spoke to Magnolia Pot, a member of the club, who told us why the club is carrying out the challenge for a second year in a row.
In October, we usually have the environmental challenge. So that is why we do the canoe race on the 8th of October. This canoe race has the title of Save the New River Canoe Race, right? And the reason why we do that is because years before, you know that we had an issue with the New River, a lot of contaminants, and it really smelled really awful. And we're trying to bring the importance that our river has, being part of our own ecosystem, our community, our town, as a matter of fact, as our whole country, right? So we want to engage youth and all the people around us so that they can notice that the river is not only for fishing. The river can also be used as a recreational area. So that is why we decided last year, we started this right after COVID, we started the canoe race. The year before, we had 5 categories, right? We had an all males, all females, a mix where you can have 2 males and 1 female, or 2 females, 1 male. We have a junior, is any paddler below 18 years. We have the masters, with any paddler up after 40 years. And this year we're gonna have the family category, which can include your mom, your dad, and a child, or 3 cousins, or 3 brothers, or 3 sisters, you know. So that is the category we added this year.
Okay, that sounds fantastic.
We have a grand prize of a first, second, and third. That is a general prize. That's for the ones that reach first, second, and third, right? But the category, let's say if you reach first, you win 500. If I'm correct, $500 for the first prize. And then if you're all females, then we give you $150 more. Right? For every category, it's $150. Plus, you get your trophy. It's a short race, by the way. We were forgetting that it will start at 9 a.m. at Bucks Landing, Tower Hill. And it will finish right in front of the San Esteban Lions Club. And the San Esteban Lions, then I mean. And after 2 o'clock, we will have Super Furia Band. And we will have a dance from 2 to 7. Una tardeada, como le dicen en español, ¿no? And we will also have a pop-up market with food, our cultural food. We will have escabeche, rellenos, tamales, and rice and beans and barbecue are part of our food now. So that too can't be left out, right? So we will have food and drinks and beers on sale.
The event is still in need of sponsorship, so the business community is encouraged to contact Pot at cell phone number 601-1719 for more information on how your business can put some dollars to good use. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Monday, October 2nd here on CTV3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at CTV3BelizeNews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/CTV3 Belize News or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at CTV3 News, have a safe and pleasant weekend. Thank you for watching and listening. Good night.